Our creative mind is the vehicle of creation, and our story has been changed all through the ages, advancing from carven canvases to cuneiforms and mythology to film. Every age has its own epic. However, each is an aspect of an endless story that follows an unmistakable recipe that one can relate to through a correct focal point of recognition. With movies being the famous present-day vehicle for articulating our accounts, on occasion we are so blinded by the star's intangible insights that we miss the insider facts covered up on display. Recognizing the privileged insights and elusive images that are directly before our eyes requires information on what to search for and how to search for it. This video is a beginner's guide for finding the more profound meaning in movies and motion picture. Surprisingly enough, Disney films will usually make use of subtle cues, but if you blink, you will miss the image. For instance, in one specific scene in DuckTales, Scrooge McDuck is getting an eye test, and in the background the chart reads, "Ask about Illuminati." The Eye of Providence and Masonic imagery, for example, the square and compass, will usually show up as a component of a moral story in films. The all-seeing eye is on the dollar note, yet the esoteric meaning relates to the infinitely knowledgeable eye of God, and this concept has been in the human story since ancient times. Square and compass is demonstrative of an astute plan that administers human experience, with all being an aspect of a divine plan. The film Magnolia is a perfect representation of a movie loaded with this sort of imagery, and the storylines are integrated through subconscious emphasis. Numbers also convey an occultic significance, so focusing on house numbers, ages, times, and dates can likewise uncover more to the story. Maybe this comes from the Hebrew gematria, which is a numerological framework that engages language and narrating. The Wizard of Oz is perhaps the best case of the use of color to pass on a complex idea. This movie is loaded with esoteric symbolism, keeping in mind that some believe that the story is a metaphor for safeguarding the gold standard for cash instead of paperback or silver money. Note that the creator of The Wizard of Oz, L. Frank Baum, was a practicing theosophist and was vigorously into mysterious investigations. While examining the shading decisions utilized in the making of this movie, it could likewise identify with the more spiritual storyline. The story follows Dorothy, an ordinary farm girl from Kansas who gets swept away by a twister, brought to the legendary strange place of Oz. She ventures to every part of the yellow brick road with her dog or alter ego Toto, and pay a gesture to the full card of the major arcana. Discover her way to the brilliant Wizard of Oz, who is someplace over the rainbow in the Emerald City, which all can be seen as a metaphorical portrayal of the soul's journey to enlightenment. The yellow brick road then again can be seen as the idea of the golden path as examined in Buddhism, a key segment in theosophy. However, it is likewise fascinating to take note that the color yellow represents the solar plexus, the emotional center where the heart and mind meet. The way of the yellow brick road is formed as an outwardly extending spiral, and the spiral represents the evolving self, where matter ascends into the spirit world. As Dorothy advances down the road, she wears a pair of ruby shoes, which is a fascinating coloring decision given that red likewise represents the color of the chakra, which corresponds to the vitality of our connection with the earth, paying the guarantee of insurance. The associates she meets en route, the scarecrow, the cowardly lion, and the tin man, all seem to be divided parts of her mind. The scarecrow believes it doesn't have a brain, the tin man accepts he is without a heart, and the cowardly lion is convinced he has no courage. The three elements these companions appear to need are three of the characteristics an initiate must have in order to rise to the next level of understanding. The buddies accept that if they enjoy the path together, the wizard they are bound to meet will give them what they are looking for. In the midst of exciting twists and turns, great witches and awful witches, munchkins and flying monkeys are in abundance. They arrive at their destination, the Emerald City. Green here is a deliberate color of choice, as the Emerald City represents the heart chakra, which conveys the power of love and the transformation of the inner self. As Dorothy followed her ego, the yellow brick road, she was guided by the yearning of her base chakra, the ruby shoes. She got to her heart, the Emerald City, to find that the potentiality of transformation was inside of her and her companions from the beginning. The wizard was no wizard by any means. Beyond the deliberate misdirection, he was the same as they were, and the incredible illumination originated from the knowledge on the power of the authentic self in the heart. Carl Jung promoted the idea of archetypes, clarifying that there are 12 widespread character types through the collective unconscious. 12 classifications fall under 4 main inclinations: the persona, the anima or animus, the shadow, and the self. When investigating characters in a film associated with mythology or history, utilizing archetypal nature as a premise of comprehension allows us to discover the zeitgeist. Star Wars is a combination of the 3 keys we've examined so far for deciphering the esoteric magnitude in movies, as there are subliminal messages, significant use of color, light versus dark, and archetypes play seriously into the storyline. We have Han Solo as the rebel or explorer, Luke Skywalker as the hero, Yoda as the magician or sage, Darth Vader as the ruler, Princess Leia as the innocent, Chewbacca as the jester, etc. These energies are available in similar equations for spiritual works, for example, the Bhagavad Gita and the Bible, the endless battle for light choosing darkness, spirit over evil, and victory over misfortune. The words change yet the narratives continue as before. The main difference is in the enunciation. Despite the fact that this short video only scratches the surface for decoding movies, it offers another point of view which you may additionally investigate through your own examination and experience. There is in every case something else under the surface in this world. By utilizing our creative mind to comprehend what's envisioned, we are left with a more extensive standpoint and a greater sense of gratefulness for our ever-advancing story.